USA defeats Australia 2-0 in the FIFA World Cup 2026. Australia started strong, but the United States took control, dominating the midfield and creating scoring chances. The Socceroos struggled to maintain possession, and their defense was put to the test. Despite some promising moments, Australia couldn't capitalize on their opportunities, and the US took advantage of their mistakes. The match was intense, with both teams giving it their all, but in the end, the US came out on top. Australia's performance was marked by moments of brilliance, but also by lapses in concentration that cost them dearly. The team's inability to finish their chances and their vulnerability on the counterattack proved to be their downfall. The possession stats were tightly contested, with Australia holding their own, but the US created more scoring opportunities. The shots on goal were limited, but the US made the most of theirs, while Australia's efforts were thwarted by the US defense. The corners and free kicks were a battle, with both teams fighting for every ball, but the US had the edge in set pieces. The stats reveal a closely contested match, but one where the US had the upper hand in the crucial moments. The turning point came when the US scored, catching Australia off guard and leaving them reeling. The goal was a result of a swift counterattack, with the US moving the ball quickly and catching the Australian defense out of position. The reaction from the Australian players was one of shock and disappointment, as they realized they had been caught out. The US players, on the other hand, were ecstatic, celebrating their goal with passion and energy. Australia's standout performers were their midfielders, who worked tirelessly to create scoring opportunities. The team's wingers also showed promise, using their speed and agility to beat the US defenders. However, the Australian defense was a concern, with the team struggling to deal with the US attack. The players who made a difference were those who were able to create chaos in the US defense, but they were few and far between. The Australian team will need to regroup and rediscover their form if they are to make an impact in the tournament. Subscribe for more World Cup action.